Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Hope all are doing well. In this video, we are going to see about removing sprite using masking. Like shown in the right side of the video. We can implement this using Unity and C#. Don't forget to subscribe guys. Let's go into the video. Create a UI canvas. Change the render mode to screen space camera. Attach the main camera to the render camera. Inside the canvas, create a UI image game object. I am naming it as Scratch Mask. In Scratch Mask game object, add a mask component, and disable the show mask graphic. Add another UI image game object, name it as Scratch Texture. Here you don't need to add mask component. I already have one sprite, so I will attach the sprite to the Scratch Texture game object. I had adjusted the rect transform, so that it fit inside the camera. This is the image we are going to scratch. Inside the Scratch Texture, add one text mesh component, or text component. I adjusted the text to the center of the image. I had given some font and heading style. And given string as gaming and coding with Vijay. Unchild the text mesh pro game object, and move above the Scratch Texture in the hierarchy. UI will render first which is in the last. If we scratch we can see the text visible. Create a scripts folder. Inside the scripts folder, create a C# script. Give class name as whatever you want. I am giving it as Scratch Texture. And open the script in Visual Studio. Clear all pre-written codes. We have to create few variables. First is rect transform, this is used to get width and height of Scratch Mask, and check we are clicking in the Scratch Mask area. Next is width and height of mask. Next is mask texture. We will create mask texture from code, this will mask the existing texture in the scene. Whatever game object having this maskable option enabled, it will get erased or masked. Next is scratch radius. From our mouse point, how much pixel it can mask. We have to initialize all the variables which we have declared. Create a initialize value function. We can get rect transform either using get component or you can drag and drop this game object in the inspector. I am using get component to get the rect transform variable. We can get the width and height by rect transform dot size delta. We can create new mask texture of width and height we got above. Now assign the mask texture to the material's main texture. We didn't create material for the mask game object, we will create later. Now apply the mask texture. In the parameter, we declared as false, why? Because we don't want to use MIPMAPs. What is MIPMAPs? If we use MIPMAP, it will render the image with high quality. But it uses memory. So we don't want to use it here. Save and switch back to Unity. Wait for the script to compile. Create a material folder. Inside the material folder, create a material. Click on the material. In the shader, change the shader type to UI default. Now assign the material to the UI image game object. Switch back to Visual Studio. Now we can implement Scratch mechanics. Create a function. I am giving the function name as Scratch according to mouse position. I am giving two parameters, xval and yval. Xval and yval is the mouse position inside the texture. We can calculate that using screen point to local point in rectangle later. Create few integer local variables xpos, ypos, and yrange for Scratch. I will explain where this variables is used later. Create another temporary color array variables. To store the previous stored color in a variable. Create a for loop. It starts from negative scratch radius to positive scratch radius, and increment by 1. Yrange for Scratch can determine the shape of the scratch. Whether it should be circle, square, rectangle, or triangle. First we can create circle shape. I am using mathf.power. Inside mathf.power takes float or integer value. We are multiplying scratch radius 2 times and x offset by 2 times. And subtracting both, it returns some value. We are going to get the pixel value. Pixel value goes from 0 to the sprite's width and height. It will return 100, 200 pixel etc. like this. If this pixel value not erased in image, then we can erase. 0.5 is the experimented value. You can also play with that value to get correct shape. Now we can use the xpos and ypos variable. Add xval and x offset pos value, and store it in xpos variable. Same for ypos also. Now we have to check some condition, whether we can scratch or not. Create a Boolean function. I am naming it as check for Scratch. Give 3 parameters. xpos, ypos and array of color. Now in the if condition, we have to check whether xpos and ypos is within the limit. If it is within the limit, now we have to get the index of which pixel to be removed. And next we have to check, if the specific index alpha is not 0, then make the alpha value to 0. Then return true. If none of the conditions satisfied, return false. Create a local Boolean variable is changed. Initialize the is changed Boolean value to false. Now call the function check for scratch. Assign the calculate x and y values, and temporary color stored in the parameters. As it return Boolean, we can get the is changed Boolean variable from the function. After the for loop ends, check if is changed Boolean true or not. If it is true, then we can set the modified pixel to the mask texture. Then we can apply to that texture. Now we can check whether we are dragging the mouse in the texture. If we are dragging, then we can scratch. To check whether we are dragging in texture, there is one function in Unity. Screen point to local point in rectangle. It will update whether we are dragging in the texture or sprite. It takes 4 parameters. Last parameter is the value we are going to use, because that will be the mouse position inside the texture. Now we can call the scratch according to the mouse position. Assign the position value in the parameter. Now call the initialize value in the start method, otherwise it will throw error. Save and switch back to Unity. If you had not attached the script in the Scratch Mask game object, attach it to it. Give scratch radius to 10 or above. Make sure the Scratch Mask game object pivot value starts from 0. Click play. I made one mistake. You can see the width and height is 0. It should not be 0. This error is because in the rect transform the width and height is 0. So it throwed this error. We can fix this. Stop the play. I am making the width and height to sprites width and height. Each sprite will have some width and height. I changed to 1920 width and 1080 height. I forgot to mention, make the pivot value to 0 in both x and y. If we changed the and height, there will be some misalignment in the image. Align that accordingly. I am giving scratch radius to 40. Save and click play. You can see the sprite get removed. As the main camera's solid color is yellow, it is showing that in the background. But, we cannot see the text behind the image. Let us also do that. You can see this maskable option is enabled. Because of that, text is also getting erased. So disable the maskable option and try again. I am adjusting the scratch radius to 60, so that it can be erased easily. You can see the text behind the image visible when we erase. You can see when we tap it is getting removed in circle shape. Now we can change the shape to rectangle. Comment the Y range for scratch which we calculated before. Same calculation we are going to use now. Just give scratch to the power of 0.5. Save and switch back to Unity. Press play. Now try erasing the sprite. You can see the rectangle is small. Increase the scratch radius. You can see bigger rectangle line. I had, again changed to circle shape scratch. Circle shaped scratch is looking good, when we compare to other shapes. Thanks for watching the video patiently. Give a like to this video, it will motivate me to put new videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good day. Thank you.